Thanks for joining this yoga practice to increase spinal strength. We often think of the spine as sitting on the back of the body, and to strengthen these muscles we feel as though we must move into backbends, whereas in truth we must strengthen all muscles that surround the spine, including those on the front of the body as well as the muscles surrounding the pelvis. Many of the postures in today's yoga practice are inspired by Pilates principles, and so they may look a little bit different. This practice aims to focus on strengthening all of the muscles surrounding the spine without deep ranges of motion. This is ideal for people who are looking to support their spine with minimal risk. If you are working with conditions such as osteoperosis, herniated discs, or if you're adapting your body postnatally, please consult a doctor before taking this class. When you're ready, let's begin.
Hi everyone, welcome to your spinal strengthening yoga practice. So we're going to get straight into it today in a tabletop position, starting with cat-cow. Now, cat-cow, we want to be extra mindful not to overextend, especially in the low back. And we want to be mindful that the movement should be spread evenly through the spine. This is just your chance to connect to how the spine feels today. And it's not about exploring any extreme ranges of motion or the maximum range of motion we feel. So as we inhale, I just want you to start by lifting your chin. See if you can bring your chest forward so you start to feel the muscles activating in the upper back. Then you can begin to extend slowly and gently into the lower back, but keep some tone through the front of the belly to prevent overarching. As you exhale, now start with the tailbone round the spine. Push those hands into the earth as you bring your chin towards your collarbone. Okay, so this should feel strong. It should feel like your hands are pushing the earth away from you as your belly hugs in. Do that a couple more times. So again, leading with the chin, the chest. Feel the work in the upper back. A little bit of tone through the belly as you exhale. Round, even more tone through the belly as you push the earth away. Once more. And exhale. Inhale back to a neutral spine, and we're going to strengthen now the hamstrings. So bring the right leg back so it's parallel to the floor. Then bend your right knee so the sole of the foot is up towards the ceiling, as if you're trying to balance a tray on that right foot. Now, really tempting here to just drop through the shoulders, let the belly sag down so you're into an arched position through the spine. Instead, push those hands into the earth, almost like a cat pose, but you're keeping your belly hugged in and your gaze is slightly forwards. From here, you can hold in stillness, isometric hold, or little pulses. So it's like you're still trying to balance that tray. You're not kicking everything off of it, but we're just lifting up and down, maybe an inch or so. And I can already feel this. Hopefully you can feel it too, your glute, your hamstring, and your right leg. Don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. At the end of the exhalation, keep hugging your navel in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right toes to the back of the mat and then over to the left side. So a little side stretch. Push those hands into the earth. Again, we're not sagging through the shoulders. Keep pushing. And then option to just do a little side body stretch, looking out over towards those right toes over your left shoulder. See if you can feel the engagement through the left side of the waist. And then bring your right toes back to neutral. Keep your body, your torso neutral, and we're going to take little rainbow arches with that right foot. So up and over the left to the left side of the mat, up and over towards the right. For around 10 rounds. Again, don't hold your breath. Keep breathing in and out through the nose. Keep your low belly hugged in. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Right leg back, and then right knee underneath your right hip. Maybe just taking a little rippling through the spine if that feels good. A little side to side. And we have that on the other side. So, left leg back, bend your left knee. Try to balance that tray on your left foot. Flex those toes back, belly in. Okay, bring some weight into the left hand. Don't keep it all on the right side. Keep some weight firmly pressing through the left fingertips. Again, you can hold in stillness here once you've found the support through your torso. Otherwise, little kicks. So it's not dramatic, maybe an inch up, inch down. Keep the tone through your belly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left leg long, back to the back of the mat and then over to the right side. Keep pushing those hands into the earth as you look out over your right shoulder. Feel a little strength through your right side waist. Back to the center of your mat and then those rainbow arches. So pointing the toes or flexing the toes. Left toes to the right side of the mat, left toes to the left side of the mat. Try to avoid over kicking or over arching your spine. Keep your belly hugged in, isolating just at that left glute. So even if the foot doesn't lift that high, you're feeling the work through the back of the leg. Supporting the low back when we create more strength through the glutes. 5, 4, breathe, 3, 2, 1. Left leg up and left leg back. Shoulder blade protraction. Now this is so important to keep stability in the upper back, okay, where we often have a tendency to kind of slump and round and lose that connection to our shoulders. So we're going to start by doing this from a tabletop position and we're just going to isolate into the shoulder protraction. So sometimes this can feel quite tricky for people to understand. So what I want you to do is just let your rib cage fall. Okay, lock your arms so your elbows are straight and just let your rib cage be heavy so you're dropping to the floor. And then I want you to do the opposite. It's like someone's tied a piece of string to your rib cage and is pulling it up. Okay, this is shoulder protraction. And you can just work with this movement from a tabletop position. Don't bend the elbows, okay? This is all happening at the shoulder blades. You can also do this with your knees bent, toes lifted with your ankles uncrossed, or you can do it from a plank position if you're feeling strong, feet hips width. Shoulder blades protracting and retracting. This strengthens the serratus muscle, creating support through the shoulder girdle for 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop to the knees. Just take a quick little child's pose just to relax those shoulders. If your wrists are feeling strained as well, maybe just give them a little bit of movement. Relax your head down. And we remind ourselves that the purpose of this practice is to create strength for the body, to nourish and to nurture the body, not to be mean, not to punish the body, but reminding ourselves that we are only as healthy as our spine. And we want to be healthy, mobile, strong through our spines for as long as we're on this earth. And so creating a little bit of time each day to protect and to nourish the spine is the minimum we can do for what it does to us. When you're ready, bring yourself back to a tabletop position and we're going to move into a forearm plank. So arms at 11, so forearms parallel. If you notice that that causes a lot of pinching through your shoulders, you can bring your thumbs to touch, but aim to bring them towards parallel. From this position, you can bring your knees back, again feet lifted, but try to keep a long line from the head to the tailbone. If you have the space, you can tuck your toes under, lift your knees up, keep your gaze forward towards your thumbs. Don't look back towards the toes. Keep that protraction in your scapula, so keep pushing the earth away using the strength of your forearms. Okay, that slight lift of the rib cage. And from this position, you can either drop to the knees and roll to the side, or just bring your right forearm towards parallel with the short edge of the mat as you lift your left arm up into a side plank. You can always do this with one knee on the floor, okay, but we're looking to find challenge. You want to keep lifting those hips high so you're feeling this tone in the obliques, the side of the spine. We don't want to forget about the side body, okay? We often think of the spine, again, just sitting on the back of the body, doing its thing, but actually we need to support the entire torso. Breathing in. As you exhale, just drop your left fingertips to the floor, release your hips down. Hopefully that should feel quite nice. You can even actually just indulge a little bit here into that side body stretch to feel that nice opening through the waist. Then from this position, we're going to make ourselves comfortable through the upper body. So you can either just relax head to hand or even ear to upper arm if that feels good. And we're going to strengthen now the glutes, but also the medial glute, okay, which we sometimes forget about. So the side of the hip. Okay, so I want you to tone your belly, navel in, glutes active, left fingertips just in front of your chest here. And then from here, we're just going to lift the left leg up and down. Now don't, if you can help it, don't rest it on top of your right, on the lower part of this position. Just keep going. So it just hovers above the right and then goes back up. And it won't take long before you start to feel this. If you need to rest, take it, but then join us again as soon as you can. You keep your low belly nice and toned. If you feel unbalanced, you can always bring your right leg slightly forwards to a knee bent position. And then once you find the next upright position, draw little circles forwards with those left toes, little circles. Yeah, you should feel it. Little circles forwards. Then switching directions, little circles back. If you need to rest, take it. We've got one more move. So, little pulses again. A little bit quicker this time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your left leg. Give a little massage if you need to through that thigh. And then from this position, we're just going to roll onto our bellies. Just take a little breath here in this reverse corpse pose. And that's the benefit of the spinal strengthening. A lot with these Pilates inspired practices as well. We feel a lot more into the cardiovascular system as well. They're naturally energizing. And so although we're looking to strengthen the spine, we're also getting bonus health points to our heart health, our cardiac health. Now, if you really want to flow, you can lift up to a plank pose and lower through chaturanga, up dog and down dog. Otherwise, you can just bring yourself up to hands and knees into a tabletop position. And we're just going to take a nice breath here. And exhale fully. So we're coming back into that forearm plank. So again, elbows under your shoulders, forearms parallel, knees back, toes lifted, or tuck those toes under. Gaze forwards in between your thumbs. And it's like you're trying to slide your elbows back towards your hips. They're not going to, because they're stuck on the mat, but they're trying their best. And you're pushing the earth away. So your rib cage is being pulled up to the ceiling. Feeling that total body strength, you're squeezing your glutes. If you need to drop to your knees, do so. Otherwise, left forearm parallel now to the short edge of your mat. So your elbow is under your shoulder, right arm up. Remember, you can drop your left knee, it's absolutely fine. Keep your hips lifted. And even here, don't let your shoulders collapse, don't let your neck collapse. It's like someone's pulling that right arm up towards the ceiling, pulling, pulling, pulling. There's a piece of string on your right hip bone, it's being pulled up. You're feeling the tone through the left side obliques. Feeling strong, feet can be flexed, or you can have one foot in front of the other for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your right fingertips to the earth. Release your hips down. I'm going to turn and face you. And again, you may just want to indulge here a little bit, enjoying that stretch through your obliques. Then you want to get comfortable. So again, hand to your head or ear towards your arm. I prefer that variation. Just really feels like I'm almost tricking myself into thinking I'm getting nice and relaxed here. Right fingertips just in front of your ribs. And again, you can bend your left knee or you can keep it towards straight. And just lift that right leg up and down, up, down. Slow, controlled movement, and it's not about the height. It doesn't matter how high you get your leg. It's that initial activation, that little burst. You can probably feel it already on the outside of your right hip. Using your fingertips, your knee for balance. Keep your abdominals engaged. Obviously, your glutes engaged. And when you're ready, when your leg is up, little circles forwards. Often one side feels tougher than the other. I don't know why that is. But feel that discomfort, stay with it. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. That burning we feel, that is muscle growth, okay? The moment you stop, when you feel that feeling, the muscles stop growing, they stop developing. So feel that, hold it, and stay with it. Reverse the circle the opposite direction. We often notice discomfort and then we want to come out straight away. That's the point, it's supposed to be uncomfortable. Good, but not painful, never painful.
Okay, once your foot is in the upright position, little pulses. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Good. Whew, release that leg, give it a little stretch. It might feel nice to bring that knee forwards just to release the glute a little bit. And then from here, we're going to lay down onto our bellies. If you really want to take another vinyasa, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we're just going to come down onto our bellies and we're going to start strengthening the spine. So the back body, the posterior chain. Now, sometimes it's really challenging to know where we're engaging, okay? So especially with back bends, we can kind of just squeeze the whole back body and hope for the best to happen. It's really important that we can begin to isolate the difference between the glutes, the low back, the mid back, the upper back, and the neck. Okay, so we're really starting to isolate. Palms under your shoulders, elbows in towards your ribs, fingers spread nice and wide. And I just want you to start very subtle. Lift your chin, just your chin, nothing else. Glutes are soft, heels are open to the side, your legs are completely relaxed. You can shake your butt, nothing's happening in your low body, just your neck. Then begin to work your way down so you start to feel your ribs lifting up off the mat. If you start to feel pressure in your lower back, ease off, continue to feel that work. And when you feel like you can't lift any more without engaging your lower back, bring your palms under your shoulders and it's like you're trying to bring those arms back. They're not going to move, you're trying to bring them back. And you may find your rib cage lifts forward a little bit more. And then release, make a little pillow with your hands. So Cobra, the unsung hero of the yoga practice, is fantastic for strengthening the upper back, which really is where we need the most strength. Okay, it's where we often get the weakest from hunching and crunching, doing work at desks, driving cars. We're now going to strengthen a little bit more through the lower body with locust pose. So I just want you to bring your arms alongside your body, palms face down, pinky fingers in towards the thighs, chin or mouth towards the yoga mat. Sorry, I have to lift my head a little bit so you can hear me, but you can bring your chin and your forehead towards the floor. From this position, lift your right leg up and back. So it's like you're trying to get your right toes to the back of the room. Don't worry about how high it gets. Just try to find that lift. For 5, don't hold your breath, even if it's shallow, breathe. 3, 2, 1, release down. And then as we inhale, we switch. So we lift the left leg up. Keep breathing. And again, it's like you're trying to reach those left toes towards the back of the room. 5, 4, 3, left hip bone is on the floor. 2, 1, release down. Relax just for a breath. And then we're going to do that with both legs. So you can keep your arms alongside your body. For some, it feels nice to bring your hands under your thighs, but that's completely up to you. If there's any pain in your elbows, don't do that. Squeeze your inner thighs together and then lift up. Okay, your feet may just come an inch or two off the floor, or they may lift all the way up. See if you can engage your toes, your heels together, squeeze your inner thighs together for 3, 2, 1, release those legs down, release your arms, maybe making a little pillow with your hands. Rock your hips. And now we're going to pair those movements together. So we're going to take a locust pose, a full locust. Chin or forehead towards the mat. And you can bring your arms alongside your body, palms down, or you can interlace your fingers behind the back, squeezing the shoulder blades to help engage those rhomboids a little bit more. As you inhale, start with the work of Cobra. Lift your chin, lift your chest. Then squeeze your glutes, lift your thighs. See if you can bring your toes together to touch. Keep your gaze lifted, keep your neck lifted. This is what we call our natural range of motion because we're working against gravity to strengthen the spine. There's no way you can cheat in this one. For 2 and 1, release down. Make a little pillow. Relax. Bow or bow variation. So traditionally in yoga, for bow pose, you'd reach your hands for the outsides of the feet. What this does is it gives you an assisted range of motion. It can take you deeper because you're using your hands to help you. When we're working with strengthening the spine, this can actually
take some of the strength away from the pose. So we're going to do that same work, but without using the arms. So your arms are alongside the body, palms down, feet are hips width apart with your knees bent. As you inhale, strengthen like you would for Cobra, then lift your glutes, lift your thighs. See if you can get those toes as high towards the ceiling as you can. Lift your gaze up like you would for Cobra for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, relax. Rest your head down. Remember, it's all about your strengthening here. You're strengthening all the muscles around your spine, but your heart is getting a workout too. It's just a bonus for you. We nourish the body in so many ways. When we take care of the spine, we not only work the strength, but we also increase the cardiovascular system's health, as well as the respiratory system's health, because we're stretching out all those tissues that surround the lungs. So win, win, win. When you're ready, if you really want to flow, you can flow. Otherwise, you can just make your way up to a tabletop, and we're just going to make our way to a seated position. So you can just cross back over your shins, or from a down dog you can jump through if you're taking a quite dynamic practice today. And we're going to take a boat pose. Now, just turn this way. The boat pose is quite high risk if you're working with lower back injuries. The reason it's high risk is usually because of incorrect alignment. So what we often see happening is people trying their best to bring their legs straight, and then they kind of collapse through the spine like this. You can see this is rounding the spine, although the legs are straight. Really not much good is happening in the body here. And so what we want to do is we want to start with the knees bent, hands to the backs of the thighs, shoulders down. There's a wall right in front of you, and you're a nosy neighbor trying to peek over. Just see, maybe you lift one leg up off the floor. Maybe you alternate, switch the opposite leg up off the floor. Once you feel stable, maybe you bring both legs up off the floor. And if possible, you may want to release your arms alongside your legs, only if you don't collapse through the spine when that happens. So we keep peeking over that wall. If this is easy for you, and your abdominals and your hip flexors are really strong, you can alternate straightening one leg at a time. And if this is easy for you, you can straighten both legs, gaze towards your toes. Just bend your knees, hug your knees, lift your chin, lift your chest. Just give your spine a little rest. As you bring your shoulders away, nice tall spine, relax. We'll do that once more. You can do the same, or you can modify it in a different way. So maybe you want to take it a little bit up level, or maybe you want to make this second round a little bit easier. Remember, you can tap, you can find dynamic movement to challenge your balance. Don't hold your breath. Even if your breath is shallow, make sure you're breathing. Keep your spine nice and long for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your legs down. This next one is a little bit mean. I'm sorry, it's not that much fun. This one, no, it's great fun. What am I talking about? It's lovely, lovely pose. It's a quadricep strengthener and iliopsoas strengthener. So hip flexors, fronts of your thighs, fronts of your hips. So we've done the back of the hips, the glutes. We've done the side of the hips, but now we're doing the fronts. And this is the one where it's often quite intense. So what I want you to do is, if you've got a spare water bottle or something, place it in the middle of your mat between your feet. And what you're going to do is you're going to start, if you've never done this before, you're going to lean back, plant your hands about a foot behind you, or you can tent your fingers to lean back a little bit. So your spine, importantly, is really straight. What we don't want to happen is this kind of movement where you're collapsing through the spine. Spine is straight, using the hands to support you. And you're going to point your right toes, left leg is flexed back, point your right toes, lift your right leg maybe up and over the bottle, or maybe just into a rainbow arch, up and down. So from the right side of your mat over towards your left foot, and we keep doing this. Once you feel able to self-support your spine, you can actually bring your hands into prayer, or opposite hand to shoulder, but make sure your spine is staying straight, you're not collapsing, okay? That's going to take all the benefits out. Keep breathing. I know this one's intense, right? Keep breathing. Use your hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Good. Give yourself a little release. If you need to, it might feel nice even to just come into kind of a reverse tabletop, just to release those hip flexors just for a moment. We're going to do that again on the other side. So right leg to the right side, flex those right toes back. Again, support your spine so you can have a straight spine. Maybe hands to heart center or opposite hand to shoulder, but we want to prioritize the length of the spine over the height of your shoulders. Then point those left toes, inhale, up, down. So a little rainbow arch, you're tracing it with your toes. If this is easy for you, well done, congratulations. If this is still easy for you, you can actually just hover your heel off the floor. Don't hold your breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Again, if you did on the other side, it might feel nice just to give yourself a little stretch through those hip flexors, just lifting those hips up, or just finding any movement that feels good to you. Not too much more now, don't worry. We're going to come down onto our backs and we're going to take a bridge pose. Now, bridge pose is fantastic for strengthening the glutes. This bridge pose is different from the ones that we'd use as a preparatory posture for things like upward bow. Okay, in terms of that, the focus is not to extend the spine as much as possible. The focus is more to strengthen the spine and the glutes. So bring your heels in towards your sit bones. Knees and ankles are hips width apart, arms alongside your yoga mat, palms facing down. And I want you just to start by lengthening your low back into the floor. So your navel's hugging in. It's like you're trying to squish something. So say there's a blackberry under your low back. Squish it into the floor. Okay, once you found this squishing motion, lift your hips up. Press through those heels, squeeze the glutes. So this is not a spinal extension. We're not trying to get the chest to the chin and the chin away from the chest. No, push through the shoulders, push through the heels, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your glutes. Inhaling, exhaling. Try to keep those knees hips width apart. And you can take some little pulses here if you want a bit more work. So squeeze, activate those glutes, squeeze, activate, soften. A little pulsing motion. But 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Good. Little bonus is that they stretch out those hip flexors that we've just strengthened. Hug your knees into your chest. Good. Give them a little rock from side to side. Now, if you want to find any kind of gentle rotations, maybe just rock the hips from side to side, being really mindful not to overexert into the spine at this point, especially as all the muscles are now nice and strong. It may resist your range of motion a little bit more. But when you're ready, just find your rest position. So if that's Shavasana, or maybe even legs up the wall if that feels nice, bring your feet out long, arms alongside your body with the palms of the hands facing up. Just let go of the control of your breathing and just slow your rhythms down. You may feel this kind of pulsing, this vibration through your body. And it may feel quite alive, quite strong. And at the same time, there may be this kind of sense of heaviness through the body. And just knowing that all this work we're doing when we first practice can feel so incredibly challenging. It can feel like we've got so much work to do in the body. And while that's true, it's slow growth, it's slow progression. Over time, each time we push those comfort zones, especially when it comes to strength work, the next time will become a little bit easier and you'll get just a little bit stronger. Your spine will get just a little bit healthier. And don't get me wrong, I never want to do this kind of strength work. It's far more enjoyable for me to sit around with my pillows and do a restorative yoga practice. But having a healthy spine enables you to do all of those lovely things you love. And so this is maintenance. This is your opportunity to nourish your spine and to prove to yourself that you're able to put in the work to create a healthy, happy life that you want to work, you want to design. And so I strongly recommend that you please stay resting here for another few minutes. If you have the time, maybe finishing us off with a nice meditation so you can properly connect your body, your mind in unison again. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you all so much for joining me. Let me know what you think of this practice and if it suited you, or if you'd like more strength-based videos. Thank you all so much for joining me. Namaste.